Hey guys, what's up? Cardmaster Phoenix here. Today I'm going to be remaking my updated deck profile for my Atlantean build, Mermails. I just call it my Abyss Mermails, but whatever you want to call it. The reason I had to update this is the ban list changed a few things and some of the card ratios are different. So let's just go ahead and hop straight into it. So first of all, I have the one of Deep Sea Diva because this allows me to go into the Tatsunoko. I use Deep Sea Diva, normal summon that. I use its effect. I can get off basically anything. I can get off I can get a marksman. I can get a let me see, what else can I get off of Dragoons? Yeah, I can get off of Dragoons. I can get a Neptibus, a Deep Sea and Neptibus makes a Tatsunoko, or a Deep Sea and a Marksman will lead us into a rank 5 play, sorry, not rank, Synchro play for a level 7. That plus heavy infantry would make basically anything. Basically anything. So yeah, there's that. I just really like it for the utility it brings. It helps deck thin, it helps with a lot of stuff. So moving on, we also have 2 copies of Atlantean heavy infantry. This card just allows us to normal summon 1 extra monster in addition to our first normal summoner set, even though we only gain this once per turn while it's active. When it's into the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, I can target a face-up card the opponent controls, spell or trap, or a monster spell or trap, and destroy it. So that's pretty good. The only thing is it does target, but other than that, it's fine. We have my personal attack for the deck, which is 2 copies of Abyss Soldier. Once per turn, I discard 1 water monster from my hand to the graveyard, target 1 card on the field, bounce it back to hand. This is basically a 1-card Pallades, and it helps trigger our other cards. I know a lot of people might think it sucks, but I just like running it, and I just like sticking with the classics. Moving on, 2 copies of Atlantean Dragoons because it's semi-limited. All level 3 or lower Sea Serpent type monsters you control can attack your opponent directly, and when this card sends the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, add 1 Sea Serpent type monster from deck to hand, except this card, which is so unspecific. It's so vague, it can be anything. It can be a Neptibus, it can be a infantry, it can be a marksman, it can be, well, I mean, God, it could be an Abyss Megalo. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as long as it's a Sea Serpent. So, that's what I really like about that. Moving on to 3 elves, we have 3 copies of Neptibus, the Atlantean Princess. I know it says Prince, but, I mean, if you're telling me that either that's just the most successful transgender transformation I've ever seen, or that's a girl, so, yeah, okay, alright, you know, let's just get back to the deck profile. So with its effect, I can send an Atlantean monster from deck to grave, except this card, add 1 Atlantean in the same card from deck to hand. And if it's sent to activate a water monster's effect from hand to grave, target 1 Atlantean in the same monster, except this card, special summon it. Ideally you'd go for Megalo to discard this and Gundy. Gundy brings something else back from grave to hand. And then, of course, Neptibus goes off, special summoning whatever you want that has Atlantean in its name. So that could be an Abyss Megalo plus Diva into, like, what, a Leo. It could also lead into a Tatsunoko or Coral Dragon or multiple synchros. It really doesn't matter. Just the amount of different things you can pull off with this is insane. So there really is so much to do there. Moving on, we have 3 Atlantean Marksmen. He's the MST of the deck. When it inflicts battle damage to your opponent, special summon a level 4 or lower Atlantean its name. Seat the Serpent type monster from your deck, except this card, and when it's into the graveyard to activate a water monster spec, target one set card your opponent destroys, pop it. Moving on, Abyss Gundy. If it's discarded to the graveyard at all, this can be into the void, this can be anything. As long as it is discarded, you can target a Mermail on the same monster except Gundy, special summon it, and you can only use it once per turn. So, pretty good. Moving on, we have Abyss Pike. I like running this at 3 because I really like this card. When it's summoned, just flat out summon. Normal, special, doesn't matter. Whenever it's summoned, you can discard one water monster to the graveyard, add one level 3 water monster from your deck to hand, and you can only use it once per turn. This searches out so much crap. I mean, you can get Marksman, you can get Gundy, you can get... Well, you can't get none of this Pike. Never mind. But, I mean, it's insane. The combos this thing leads into. Summon this Pike. Uses effect, ditch, draw, and then you have cost for Abystius, you have a cost for Abyss Megalo. The combos are nearly limitless with this. I mean, this guy truly is a limit. You have triple Mermail Abystius next up. Basically, just a quick overview of his effects. Once per turn, discard one monster to the graveyard for summon it. Normally in the pinch position, but you can summon it however you like if you want to be risky. From your hand, if summoned this way, add one level 4 lower Mermail on the same monster from deck to hand, and you can only use it once per turn. Great searcher, great deck thinner. It's amazing. And then you have the big granddaddy of them all, Abyss Megalo. It's basically a double Abystius with his attack and defensive points swapped. That's basically what he is. And moving on to spells, we have 1 for 1, triple salvage. 1 for 1 is to get out our, where is it? Yeah, our Noctibus's. We have salvage just to get those water monsters back to hand for a cost for later on. We also have triple twin twisters, just more back row removal. We have 1 bottomless, 1 warning for the traps, as well as triple Psalm Strike and triple Quaking Mirror Force. So all these are just staples. That's really, I think it's really all the explanation that's needed. For the extra deck, we have 1 Trish, just because it's amazing. The different combos you can use and the different cards you can use to make this, and just the effect itself is amazing. We have double Gungnir. Discard 2 cards to the graveyard, target the number of cards your opponent controls, pop them. It doesn't matter if it's a monster, if it's set, if a spell or trap, it's active, set, etc. It just doesn't matter. Triple Coral Dragon, just because he's a beast. He really is. I mean, he is. Once per turn, discard 1 card, target 1 card your opponent controls, pop it. If it's synchro summon and sent from field to grave, draw 1 card. It's basically a jar of greed upon death. So even upon death, he's still benefiting you. So always try and go into him. You have double Leo just because pesky card control on the enemy's favor. No, screw that. Moving on, triple Tatsunoko. I love this guy. I cannot tell you the amount of times I get this thing out first turn. Summon Deep Sea Diva, getting up to this, sink into this, and then see what I did there, sink or summon into this, and sink like the ocean theme. Okay, alright, gotcha. Also, if you were going to sink or summon with this, you can use the other material from your hand, which is amazing. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could go with like a Tatsunoko and what is Abystius? 7? Okay, so maybe I didn't do that. But what you could do is you could use... Is it multiple? Can you use multiple? I don't know. Okay, so... also, he's unaffected by other monsters' effects, so that's pretty good. You could use this plus a rank level 4 to get into... I'm sorry, 3 to get into your Coral Dragons, a level 4 to get into Gungnir. The applications are practically endless for this. Finally, for the Xyz monsters, we have 1 Big Eye staple, 1 Abyssgaios, I guess that's the way to say it. I guess that's how you pronounce it, I don't know. Well, this card has exceeds material, so 5 or higher monsters cannot attack. This does not affect him, however, because he has a rank, not a level. Once per turn, during either player's turn, detach 1, negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls, and until the end of that turn, they have their, less attack than this card until the end of the turn. Which he's 2800, so finding something like that's gonna be pretty hard. You're gonna be hard pressed. You can go with double Abystius, you can go with double Megalo, 1 Abystius, 1 Megalo. It's just limitless the ways to make this. And then double Castel, just because, I mean, it's Castel. So, with that, that's gonna wrap it up for this deck profile. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been your host, Master Phoenix, signing out. See you guys next time. Have a good one.